What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. We really have to talk about the upcoming season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It feels like it's going to be the most intense season to ever happen, even more than like season 6 and 7, okay? Like, the rivalry between Nene Leakes and Kenya Moore has been dominating like the blogosphere for the longest time ever. And right now the news coming out is probably the most shocking news that I've heard to date. And actually it's despicable and disgusting on two people's parts as well. So let's kind of just rewind a little bit and break it all down together. According to Love B. Scott, who by the way has to be one of the most reliable bloggers of all, Nene Leakes had a relationship of her own with Kenya Moore's husband, Marc Daly. And it's a friendship relationship that was had behind Kenya's back. And in being friends with Marc, apparently he confided in her in a few things about his marriage with Kenya. And so she went to producers about it. And the producers told her, hey, save all of this stuff for our final taping. We need all of this stuff for the finale because Kenya is going to explode and it's going to make for great television. Just wow that Nene would even do this to Kenya, ambush her with this information. The information that B. Scott is claiming that Nene had about Kenya and her marriage is that Marc told her that the marriage wasn't even real and that he didn't even like Kenya and that they had a contract to have this baby together. Yeah, those season 6 rumors are coming back again. Remember when Kenya was on season 6 of Real Housewives of Atlanta in her debut, she had a boyfriend named Walter, and then they broke up, and Walter went on the radio circuit claiming that Kenya had hired him to pretend to be her boyfriend for the show so that she could secure her peach. And ever since, all of her relationships have been rumored to be arrangements, and Marc was no different. When she introduced him in season 9, a lot of people were like, oh, he's probably paid, there's no way he's really genuinely with her. And so the fact that he would, you know, if this is true, if this is not true, go behind the back of the mother of his child to a woman who means her nothing but harm and say all of this is disgusting and shocking and despicable on so many levels, on him as a husband, as a father, as a business owner. Like, this is just so disturbing to even hear. Kenya initially caught wind of Nene's relationship with Marc on their cast trip to Greece, but again, producers allegedly had Nene save all of this information for the finale episode. So all of this is going down in Atlanta when the two actually finally come to blows. And so, you know, it's already quite dirty and nasty that Nene would go behind Kenya's back and talk to her husband, but just you wait because it gets worse. As the two of them sparred over the entire situation, it's being alleged that Nene tried to spit on Kenya. Like, Love B. Scott is reporting that sources on the ground for this fight heard Nene, it's so disgusting, make like a hawking sound as if she was going to spit on Kenya. And there's no word on whether or not she landed on Kenya or anything like that. But just the fact that she would even do this as a person, as a woman, just gross. Like, why do people try to spit on people? It's so disgusting. Anyway, that's said to be the third fight between Nene and Kenya that we're going to see in the next season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So the first fight apparently took place in Marlo Hampton's hotel room when all of them went on their cast trip to Toronto for Caravana. We actually did get to see that fight in the season trailer for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You can always go back and check that out for yourself. The second fight again is said to be on the cast trip to Greece, where Kenya caught wind of Nene talking to her ex-husband, and now this right here for the finale is said to be the third fight between the two of them. So it's very clear who earned their peaches this season, the very two of them. Like, before the episode even airs, I already know Nene's going to be on one side of Andy Cohen and Kenya is going to be on the other. I have to back up real quick because I glossed over their fight in Toronto. The reason that Nene and Kenya fought in Toronto was because of the audio. Last season on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Nene had like this audio that she felt like proved that Cynthia, you know, threw her under the bus in some capacity and lied about not knowing that Kenya would be attending her party. And so she brought that up again in Toronto, and Kenya tried to defend Cynthia. Nene got in her face, Kenya got back in her face, and the two of them just scrapped. How do you feel about the fact that Nene Leakes allegedly conspired with Kenya's husband to throw her under the bus this season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? I Let me tell you how I feel about it from two parts. First of all, on the Marc part. Remember, Marc on season 9 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta made it very clear that he didn't want to be on the show because he felt like it was a very negative representation of African American women in television. He was like, I just don't like all the fighting, all the bullying, all the harassment, like things even get physical sometimes. It's just not a good depiction of African American women. So with him riding into the show on that high horse, why would he all of a sudden team up with one of the biggest, baddest bullies of all, like one of the most negative depictions of Black women in reality television, to throw his wife under the bus, to throw the mother of his child under the bus? That just does not make any kind of sense to me, you know? And Marc is a very, was a very, if any of this is true, respectable person with a popular business in Brooklyn, New York. So it's not like he needs the show for money or relevance or anything like that. Like, what does he stand to gain from making Kenya look so horrible? And then on Nene's side, Phaedra had once tried doing the same thing to her. Phaedra tried to reach out to Nene's like stepsisters or something like that, half sisters, and get them on the show to throw Nene under the bus. And remember, that's when Nene had that famous line, "You can never win when you're playing dirty." Meanwhile, here she is trying to win, playing dirty to another woman who has paid her dust for quite a long time. Like, what kind of vendetta would you have against Kenya to do something like this, especially to escalate it to allegedly trying to spit on her? This is just all so wild. I need to know everything that you have to say about it. So please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.